said, my mama want to see my contract before I sign it. You know, I put it on. So give it to her and we'll get it back. So
how old are you at this time?
I'm 17, 18, about 18. I go in and it's like dark and shit. You know what I mean? Like sitting behind, you know, the contracts and this light on the contracts. It's like you about to sign your soul to the devil type shit. Yeah, you know, he knew that I was asking about the contracts and shit. So I guess he was trying to, you know, intimidate me or, you know, had this one-on-one session, me and him just he was just gonna convince me to sign his contract. So I sat down, he was telling me, you know, the record is doing good and it's great and we got just money for you and everything is great and all you need to do is sign this contract. And I'm like, I said, I can't sign the contract because I don't know what's in it. I'm trying to have you get it to my people and you won't do it. So I need to see what's in that contract before I sign it. Well, all right, man. He said, you're not gonna sign it? I said, I can't sign it. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what I'm signing.
Before songs like Not Like Us, Ether, and Hit 'Em Up, there was No Vaseline. And for a lot of people, No Vaseline is the best diss track of all time. This wasn't just a song. This was Ice Cube murdering 4 dudes on wax and getting away with it. No Vaseline is hip-hop's equivalent to a nuclear bomb. And you know a diss song is really good when the people you diss couldn't come up with a reply. Just nothing. You know a diss song is good when it's able to destroy the world's most dangerous group.
Doing it from here?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm Eazy-E from the world's most dangerous rap group, N.W.A, and we'd like to thank everybody at the NARM.
N.W.A were undoubtedly the world and hip-hop's most dangerous group. No other hip-hop group has had the FBI sending their record label warning letters or an entire police department rushing the stage to shut down their show.
How were the police with you guys? Because you were fairly vocal at times.
They hated us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hated us. We was on stage one time in Detroit in '89 and we had a song called Fuck the Police. You know, that was the song.
So the police didn't like that song?
No, they didn't, for some reason. I thought it was such a catchy number. But, you know, they didn't like the song, and the promoter that we were doing the shows for said, yo, we'll put you on tour, but you can't perform that song. Cops everywhere, they ready to shut you down. So we agreed to that until we got mad at the promoter. We was like, tonight, we gonna do that song. We gonna tear this thing up. So we got on stage and we started performing the song and we was like, yeah, the audience was looking a little rowdy and it was kind of getting out of hand and we was like, what's going on? And then we saw the whole Detroit Police Department rush the stage. They threw fireworks and stuff on stage. We took off running. Some of the guys ran out the arena to the hotel. They corralled us, arrested us all, and all they wanted was damn autographs.
N.W.A was that popular, and they were just as controversial. In the late 1980s, N.W.A was that group the streets wanted to listen to. These were the pioneer gangsta rap.
This is my man, the crazy man, Eazy-E in the house.
Hey, he's temporarily insane. Temporarily insane. So, Eazy, does this mean you won't be participating in the interview?
Yeah! He said he will in a minute, man. He's getting his head straight right now.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, ask him exactly what the straitjacket and the mask is all about.
He's saying I want nobody to see him right now, because he thinks...
We rap about what's going on, what we like to do, and sex just happens to be a big part of what we're doing.
Because I like to fuck. I don't know about you guys. I like to fuck.
You know, we're not role models.
Nah.
You know, we're not out to send any messages, anything like that. We do it to get paid. We make records to get paid. This is a job, you know.
And we just tell it how it is.
Like I said, we're not trying to be any kind of model. We're just out to make records. This is our job, you know. We got to keep eating.
Yeah. It's more than a job.
Now, N.W.A were not role models, but they made it cool to be a gangster. They had the ears of the streets and were the voice of the urban youth. Eazy-E stated, "If you want to get your points across, you gotta cuss. The kids from the street don't want preaching or messages." So, N.W.A gave the street stories they can identify with. They had songs that painted the reality of the hood. N.W.A didn't care if the stories were ugly or not fit for the radio. They just kept it real.
5 white guys walking together are friends. 5 black guys walking together is a gang. In the police eyes. You know what I'm saying? And they have you like this and head down and you be on the concrete.
Nothing such as this has ever happened in Compton. It doesn't happen.
California's politicians were furious that N.W.A.'s songs encouraged violence against other blacks, against cops, and they accused him of trying to incite crime. Ice Cube's response to me that day?
Somebody wanted to do a crime, they had that mentality there anyway. It wasn't our album which turned somebody that was a nice kid into this vicious criminal.
These days, gangster rappers are only known to glorify violence and the number of women they slept with. But N.W.A talked about social injustice, institutional racism, and over-excessive policing. They contributed to the political involvement and awareness of American youth against racism.
Well, how'd you get the title? How'd you come up with the title?
Because we niggas. And as long as we remain to be alive, we'll always be niggas, and ain't nobody gonna change that. Anything promotes violence.
What do you mean?
Heavy metal promotes violence.
We rap about what's going on, what we like to do, and sex just happens to be a big part of what we're doing.
I like to fuck. I don't know about you guys. I like to fuck.
Just think about it. Before N.W.A came out, there was nobody out there doing gangster rap. We're the inventors of gangster rap music.
They wanted to shock white middle-class America into seeing what the problems in our inner cities were really like.
Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, DJ Yella, and Ice Cube, all 5 members of N.W.A. These men indeed shocked middle-class white America. There were initially 6 members, but Arabian Prince left the group weeks before they released their first album or had any major success. Everything changed when N.W.A released their debut album, Straight Outta Compton. Ice Cube was the major writer of the group. He wrote most of the songs and most of Eazy-E's lyrics. Cube was also the youngest member and only one from South LA and not from Compton. And when they made the song F the Police, oh, the cops were big mad. When Cube wrote F the Police, Dr. Dre thought it was a bit too violent and they wasn't sure about releasing it or even putting it on the album. But after Dre and Eazy-E got arrested for shooting paintballs at cars, oh, it was on. Now, the police refused to provide security at their shows. Radio stations banned the song and MTV refused to play the video.
All right, here we go. Yo, what's up? This is Dr. Dre from the world's most dangerous group, N.W.A, and we sending a shout out to everybody at the Norm Convention. We know you're the ones in our corner because fuck radio, fuck MTV. You're the ones that's making this happen for us, so peace.
At this point, you would think their careers would be over, but the opposite happened. N.W.A became more popular and definitely more successful. The song F the Police earned them a letter from the assistant director of the FBI that read, "Advocating violence and assault is wrong, and we in the law enforcement community take exception to such action." Now this was some serious shit. An Australian radio station called Triple J was the only radio station that played the song. Come on, y'all. Australian? Damn. The Aussies had to play it? And y'all know what happened to the Aussies? They were banned. So, what they did was, in protest, they played N.W.A's Express Yourself for 24 hours straight. That's how you do it. The Aussies. Now remember, they were banned from radio stations and MTV. And despite that, they still sold over 3 million albums. So, who the heck was buying and bumping this album? And Eazy-E was also very good at utilizing controversy. He attended a fundraiser for then President George Bush in 1991 and even donated to his cause. Eazy stated that he paid $1,500 for $1 million worth of press. That's smart.
Blew it up. Basically what I did is I paid $1,500 for $1 million worth of press.
But despite their success, one of the most important members of the group left in less than a year after they released their debut album. Straight Outta Compton was released in January 1989. But by December 1989, Ice Cube left N.W.A. Cube stated that the group's publicist advised him to take a careful look at their new contract and introduce him to a lawyer. Ice Cube didn't want the group's manager, Jerry Heller, to know he had hired a lawyer, so he told him his mother wanted to see the contract. But Heller kept beating around the bush and then lied to Cube that his mother cursed him out.
And was that the reason you left the group?
I left the group because he lied, you know, and I caught him in a lie.
When you say he lied, who lied?
Jerry lied to me.
Okay, gotcha.
I was a young dude, you know, young MC. I like the whole business part of it, you know, I was kind of naive to it. But then I started hanging with the publicist that we had for N.W.A. She ended up being my manager, named Pat Charbonnet. You'll see her name on the Friday credits. But she was saying, you know Jerry? I'm like, no, I don't know these dudes, you know, I don't know Jerry. Whatever. She's like, make sure you look at your paperwork, you know what I mean? Make sure, you know, I got a lawyer if you wanna talk to him, named Michael Ashburn, and make sure everything is straight. So I didn't want to tell Jerry I had a lawyer, you know what I'm saying? I was like, my mama, I said, my mama want to see my contract before I sign it, you know, I put it on, because I felt like he would think she, you know, black mama don't know.
She didn't know better.
So give it to her and we'll get it back. So he kept saying, I'll get it to you, I'll get it to you.
How old are you at this time?
I'm 17, 18, about 18.
Very small.
So he's like, I'll get it to you, I'll get it to you, I'll get it to you. It wasn't coming. And then I told my mother, I said, call him, you know. And then he said, so my mother called him. So I asked him, we was on the road, we was on tour. So I asked him, I said, man, you talk to my mother? She said, yeah. He said, yeah. I talked to her and she cussed me out, Cube. She called me all kind of names in the book. And I sat back, I'm like, wait a goddamn minute. Now, my mama ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Unless
like,
you did
she ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? You, not only are you handling, you doing my business, she ain't gonna fuck up my business like that. So I knew he lied on her. And so I called her and then she went off about him lying. So I said, okay, this motherfucker's a liar. If he lie on my mama and don't think I'm a double check.
Right.
When a man is willing to lie on your mother, you know there was definitely something wrong. So while they were on tour, it was time for him to sign his contract. But Cube refused to sign the papers until his people were allowed to do some due diligence.
You know, he's
not gonna talk to your mama at 17
you know?
years
Yeah,
old.
you a scumbag, you know what I mean? So I said, okay, I can't trust him. If you lie on your mama, you can't trust him. So they wanted us to sign the contracts while we were still on tour. That's when you seen the scene where I'm like, yeah, I ain't signing.
So that was real in the
You
movie.
said why the room so dark and all
Yeah, all that, because we was in Phoenix, Arizona. At the Doubletree Hotel in Phoenix, Arizona. We at the Phoenix, and everybody's going in. You know, Jerry. You know, we signed the contracts today. You know, so everybody's going down there. So it was my turn.
Y'all didn't go together?
No, one at a time.
That's crazy.
One by one, it was my turn. So
was they happy? The people that came out before, like after they signed?
they had $75,000. Yeah. So they was happy.
Yeah,
they had $75,000
in
check.
the 80s.
So I go in and it's like dark and shit. You know what I mean? Like sitting behind the contracts and this light on the contracts. It's like real. You about to sign your soul to the devil type shit.
Right.
Yeah, it was like he was trying to he knew that I was asking about the contracts and shit. So I guess he was trying to, intimidate me or, had this one-on-one, session, me and him just he was just gonna convince me to sign his contract. Right. So I sat down, he was telling me, the record is doing good and it's great and we got, just money for you and everything is great and all you need to do is sign this contract. And I'm like, I said, I can't sign the contract because I don't know what's in it. I've been trying to have you get it to my people and you won't do it. So I need to see what's in that contract before I sign it. And he was like, we got $75,000 for you, Cube. I said, well, ain't that my money anyway, whether I sign it or not, because the record is out.
Right.
So that's my money anyway. No, I can't give it to you. Easy said, do not give it to you unless you sign.
He said, Easy said,
I can't give it to you unless you sign.
Is crazy.
So I just like, well, all right, man. He said, you're not gonna sign it? I said, man, I can't sign it. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what I'm signing. Like, I just got up.
On the fucking record.
I'm
sorry for ad-lib. I'm just thinking.
And he putting you against Easy from the rip.
Not only that, he's rating Easy shit. Easy kid, right? So go ahead, my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I just got up and left.
Ice Cube stated that they made $650,000 on tour, and he only got $23,000. When Ice Cube asked about profits from N.W.A. merchandise being sold on the tour, he was told it was none of his business. They sold 3 million records, but Cube was only given $32,000. Cube stated that the manager, Jerry Heller, lives in a $500,000 house in Westlake, and he's still living at home with his mother. Jerry's driving a Corvette and a Mercedes-Benz, and I've got a Suzuki Sidekick. Ice Cube stated that all Jerry Heller had to do was fix the problems in the contract, and he would have been happy to continue as a part of N.W.A.
But they didn't kick you out.
It happened real fast. I left because I was like, this ain't gonna work. They're not gonna fix it. All he had to do was fix it.
When you say fix it, what did Jerry Heller need to do to make it right by Cube?
I think he was, at the end of the day, he was trying to get me to sign a contract that my lawyer never read.
Okay.
So to me, that's bad business, and it's a bad contract.
Right.
You don't want my lawyer to even look at it, and I have a lawyer. He kept ducking me and saying, I'll send it.
Cube stated that when he told them he was leaving the group, they expected he would be unsuccessful and end up like Arabian Prince. After Arabian Prince left N.W.A., he didn't have much success. Right now, Arabian Prince is just remembered as the guy who left N.W.A. just before they struck gold and became superstars. But for Ice Cube, he would go on to have a very successful solo career. His debut album, America's Most Wanted, is undeniably a classic. The album went platinum in just 36 days. Ice Cube actually wanted Dr. Dre to produce this album, but Jerry Heller blocked it. Despite this, Cube had proven that he was a star and that he could be a successful solo artist. And he never mentioned or dissed N.W.A. on his album at all. But his story with the group is not over. Instead, N.W.A. started dissing Ice Cube on their songs. So they took the first shot by dissing him on their song 100 Miles and Running. They only had a few bars for Ice Cube on his song, so he didn't read too much into it. and replied with a few lines of his own on his song, Jacking for Beats.
And if I jack you and you keep coming, I have you march 100 miles and run. This Ice Cube won't pump it up. I got all suckers 100 miles and run. Like to give a shout out to the DOC. Y'all can't blame them.
That was their mentality, sensationalism.
Sister D, always in the middle of controversy right here on Pump It Up.
So these were just slight jabs from both parties.
They dissed you first.
Yeah, they dissed me on a record called 100 Miles and Running. It was like an EP that they released after Straight Outta Compton. It was a diss, but it wasn't like heavy-handed. It was like a line, like a little line or two.
Right.
So
okay,
I gave it back to him. I gave it back to him a little bit on Jacket for Beats.
Right.
At the end of Jacket for Beats, it's one line where I mentioned 100 miles and run. I'll have you 100 miles and run. So on No Vaseline.
Okay, they diss you on the line. You kind of diss them back on the line. Did you think it was over? Okay, you said yours,
Yeah.
I said mine. I'm done. Let's
Yeah.
move on them. You thought it was over.
Yeah, because I still like them dudes. You know, they were still, you know, I had a problem with Easy and Jerry, but I was still cool with Dre and Yella and Ren,
right,
and DOC and Laylaw and all them dudes that were still hanging around. So I was just surprised that they would like take it to him.
They called Ice Cube a traitor by calling him Benedict Arnold, an American major general who betrayed his troops in the 1780s to join the British Army. Ice Cube stated that he heard this song for the first time while on a boat with a record executive. And Cube had no plans to make a diss record, but after hearing this song, yeah, he let them have it.
So we out there, we chilling. He say, Cube, I gotta play something for you, man. You know, we're putting out the new N.W.A. record, and they kind of went hard on you, and I just want to play it for you. So they played the record, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, you got me out here on this damn boat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to turn this boat around right now. I'm damn near ready to swim back. You know what I'm saying? So I just wasn't feeling the trip. I said, man, take me back, man. You know what I mean? He took me back, jumped in my car, went to the house.
Fam, at this point, Cube was done with it. He went home for only one reason. He got home filled with rage, jumped in the booth, and made the classic that we all know as No Vaseline. It took him only 90 minutes to destroy all 4 members of N.W.A. Yo, so at this point, No Vaseline was the original 20 versus 1.
I went to the house. I wrote No Vaseline in 90 minutes.
90 minutes?
Oh, 90 minutes. I was so mad. Because I was like, dude, I ain't even trying to diss these dudes, man. You know what I mean? I was basically saying, you know what I mean? Good luck to you.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all do yours over here. I'll be over here.
Mine. So, it was a lot of venom.
Y'all don't understand how legendary that moment was. No Vaseline was recorded the same day in one take. Cube's line, Yo Dre, stick to producing, surely inspired Drake's line, Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums. And like Ice Cube's son said, 1 versus 4, it was so good, they had no rebuttal.
White man just fooling. The niggas with attitudes, who you fooling? Yellow boys on your team, so you're losing. Hey, yo, Drake, stick to producing.
With No Vaseline, just a match and a little bit of gasoline. After this, it was done. And even in the movie, you can see the impact that No Vaseline had on the group.
Glad we got rid of Benedict Arnold, yo, N.W.A.
Benedict Arnold?
Are they trying to say that you're like a traitor?
Yeah. I'm a fucking traitor? I ain't say shit about them on America's Most Wanted. Now they trying to diss?
Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off.
This is why you never diss the writer. Even DJ Yella had to admit that, yeah, Cube got him real bad.
Yeah, we threw a couple of shots. We just kind of threw a punch, but then he dedicated a whole song. And I told him, before shooting the scene for the movie, he called me that night. He said, so what really happened in the studio about the song? I said, just like they did in the movie. I said, you got us.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It wasn't no, we're going to go over here and kill him, break his... Nah, it just, he got us. He made a song about us and he got us. That's it.
And for the likes of DOC, No Vaseline is the greatest diss track of all time.
Is No Vaseline the greatest diss track of all time?
Maybe. But I'm an N.W.A. guy, you know, but No Vaseline, I love that one. That was a great fucking record.
N.W.A. never responded to No Vaseline, and Ice Cube pretty much ended the group. They never released another album after Cube dropped No Vaseline, and the issues he complained about that made him leave the group were the same issues that made Dr. Dre leave the group the year after. Thankfully, Ice Cube and N.W.A. all resolved their issues before Eazy-E passed away. Cube stated that he and Eazy had become good friends before he unfortunately died from AIDS. The controversial album Straight Outta Compton made the group the first rappers to open up rap to a white American audience. The album also birthed a successful movie. It is now preserved in the Library of Congress and the National Recording Registry. N.W.A. has been inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And remember that letter that the FBI sent to N.W.A.? That can be seen in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well. Ha ha! The irony. Legendary stuff. So let me know, are you one of those that believe that No Vaseline is the greatest diss track of all time? And if you haven't heard it, we got YouTube for that. Let me know, share your thoughts in the comments, like, and share it. And I'll see you on the next go round. Peace and love.